This is section 2.1, relations and functions. This is part 2, where we start to talk about function notation and function rules. Okay, we start dealing with some equation stuff here. It says a function rule is an equation that represents an output value in terms of an input value. Really, function rule is a simple fancy word for equation. You can write a function rule in what we call function notation. Okay, function notation is this right here. Okay, function notation looks like this. You'll notice the difference between that equation and this equation. You notice that they've replaced the y with an f and then a parentheses x. Now, this right here is read as f of x. It's just a notation. That's not multiplication. Okay? It's just a fancy way of essentially doing a substitution. Okay? You'll notice here in this problem, they've put in 1 for x. So really this is what we call f of 1. That means we're substituting 1 in for x into the equation. Okay? The independent variable, we've talked about this, the independent variable x represents the input of the function. The dependent variable, which is f of x or y, represents the output. It's called the dependent variable because its value depends on the input. Okay? So as we look at this here now, all we're going to do is just simple substitution. They say for f of x equals negative 2x plus 5, what is the output for the inputs of negative 3, 0, and 1/4? So what we're going to do here now is we're going to substitute in negative 3. And I'm going to find f of negative 3. So that means that, notice I'm putting in negative 3 for x. So I'm going to put negative 2 times negative 3 plus 5. Again, all this is a fancy way to substitute. So negative 2 times negative 3 is 6 plus 5. F of negative 3 is 11. I can do the same with f of 0. Negative 2 times 0 plus 5. Negative 2 times 0 is 0. 0 plus 5 is 5. Okay? So again, all this is a fancy way to substitute. F of 1/4 would be negative 2 times 1/4 plus 5. Negative 2 times 1/4 is negative 1/2 plus 5. This is 4.5. Okay, so all we're doing is substituting. Same thing with the next examples. If I want to find, it says for what is the output for the given input, I want to find f of negative 2. That means I'm going to put negative 2 into the equation for x. So this is 8 plus 1, which is 9. So f of negative 2 is 9. Same thing for 0, f of 0. This is negative 4 times 0 plus 1. Well, negative 4 times 0 is 0 plus 1 is 1. So f of 0 is 1. And then finally, f of 5. This is negative 4 times 5 plus 1, which is negative 20 plus 1. So f of 5 is negative 19. And that's my final answer. Okay? So this kind of gives you a quick oversight of just simple substitution using function notation. Okay, this concludes section 2.1. This is part 2. Don't forget to complete your WSQ once you've finished watching this video.